Haynes had tweeted out, I think it was one star player had said we've already started, like finish what we've started, I think
Yeah.
is what it was.
LeBron,
And
right?
I mean, it's got to be LeBron, who was also the same person that, he was one of the many guys, or at least one of the many big, like, high profile players who said, like, enough is enough with all this on Twitter, and was very, I mean, he, got a little vulgar, but I mean, who's not getting vulgar with this kind of stuff that happens? But yeah.
Right.
So if it's just what I mean, Patrick Beverley said it before the season or before the restart. If LeBron wants to play, they're playing. But honestly, when I saw that first tweet, Lucy, when he said enough is enough and whatever, I thought LeBron was going to say, you know what, we're done. Forget it.
Because if LeBron says they're done, they're done. Like, there's
Absolutely.
no way that he.
I thought he was going to say it. Honestly, did you?
Oh yeah, no, I think that yeah, of course, because that is his thing. Like, he's just gonna be like, okay, we're done, and everyone's gonna be like, okay, yes, sir, and then we're done. But if he definitely, if they continue the season, he was the player who said that. If they halt the season, he was not the player who said that.
Right. Yes.
That's how this is gonna go.
Absolutely. 100%. I don't know who else it could have been.
Right. Today was a what didn't happen today day.
Yeah.
I made tea for this
today.
tonight. Yeah. That's how excited this is.
I honestly, I was thinking, all right, I'm not gonna watch the Bucks Magic game, or I'll catch highlights of it, whatever, because it's Bucks Magic. We know what's gonna happen. It's Game 5. It's all over. So I'm out, and I look at my phone, and then I had seen the stuff about the Celtics and Raptors leading up to it was coming out this morning, I think, and then I look at my phone, and then I see there's a chance that the Bucks and Magic may not play tonight because of the same reasons. And then I see a tweet. I don't know who it was from. The Bucks haven't taken the floor. They're not out here, and there's like 3 minutes left in the game. I mean, 3 minutes left in warm-ups, and then the Magic end up leaving. Then the refs leave, and I'm watching it like I'm sitting in my car, and I put it on YouTube TV. And it's like, holy shit, they're actually not going to play. This is I mean, and now this is where I'm kind of like an asshole with some of these things. I saw that they were boycotting it, and I mean, I don't like the exact definition of boycott. I don't know off the top of my head. I thought, okay, that works. Yeah, it makes sense. Then I saw somebody else say, no, this is a strike. Fans boycott, like players or workers strike. So it's been kind of bugging me that I'm seeing boycott the entire time throughout all this, but that's such a stupid, trivial thing. But I just can't help myself.
It does seem more like a strike, because when you're boycotting something, it's more like you're not paying for this service to spite them. I think of it as in The Office, Dwight boycotts a store at the Steamtown Mall because they wouldn't let him into the store. You'll get to that episode, but that boycott is, I'm not going to give my business to this place because of what they've done to me. This is more like a strike where you refuse to work. Yeah. That's less boycotting than it is a strike. This is more of a strike.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes.
But the only thing, I think the only reason that it's where either term could seem applicable is the fact that they're not pissed at the NBA. They're not mad at the league, because I know some guys are I think plenty of guys are questioning whether or not they should have actually gone down here in the end and kept protesting. But honestly, where some of them may think it wasn't the right move to restart, I think if what happened, was it in Wisconsin, or obviously Milwaukee's in Wisconsin, but was it in Milwaukee where the shooting happened?
I don't think it was in Milwaukee. I think it was,
but it was
in a
Wisconsin.
Different town.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was Wisconsin.
So it happens in Wisconsin, and then they go and do. I mean, they have shocked all the sports, into the point where Josh Hader, who we talked about it, I think we talked about it on the show, where he got in trouble years back for tweets from when he was in high school or whatever, and they were terrible. He was the guy who was saying we need to think about doing something. He was the one who was asked about it. And then the Brewers don't play. To me, that was the most shocking thing. Yeah, it takes a lot for the Bucks to do what they did, but when the Brewers go and do that, and then the Reds too, they're like, we're not taking their forfeit. We're not going to play. Period. That's not something I expected to see at all. And I was curious if it was going to happen across MLB. Obviously, didn't. But still when shocking.
This started this afternoon. I was in the car and I turned on OMF. As I got in the car, they're starting to, Glenn is doing play-by-play of the refs leaving the court. And then at the end of it, the refs have now left the building. They've left the building now. They have no work tonight. They've been told that no work tonight. They will left the building.
They're gone.
They walked out the court. They left the building. So then they ended the segment by saying, this could stretch into Major League Baseball as well. I was like, oh my God.
And it did.
This is going to be enormous.
Yeah. Can you pull up the second to the bottom? Hello,
Yeah.
John. I see the
This
eyeballs in
one?
there. Yes. I just needed
Because there is an Office reference for everything. There is a Trump tweet for everything, and there is an Office reference for everything. Names every situation in life. I'm like,
Scott
that's like that Office episode.
so I'm working almost at the end of the second season, and he is. Oh my God, Lucy,
Michael?
he's the worst boss ever.
That's the whole point. That's why he
Ever.
has the
No,
mug
he's not
that
just
says
awkward. I thought he was just awkward. He's also
no.
he's kind of an asshole.
Yes. Well, so if you read once
Kevin getting cancer.
Once you're done, okay. Well, that one, you saw the end of that episode, right?
Yes.
Kevin does not have skin cancer, but in the book you will read when you're done with the show. You got to read the Office book that came out a couple months ago. Just came out. It's still relevant. This show. You will see that they made him less and less of an asshole and more of just a guy that you can make fun of as the show goes on.
Well, even from one to two, it's abundantly clear.
Oh, big, yeah, exactly. So the episode that you were saying, the one where Phyllis knits the oven mitt for him, the Christmas episode, that is cringier to me than Scott's Tots.
Is that the one I texted you about?
Yes, he's so mean in that episode. It's not even funny. It's just mean. So that's why I think that episode was pivotal in that they were like, we can't make him mean like this because it's cringe. It's so cringy.
Pull up another one at the bottom.
No, so true.
He's the absolute worst. I can't take it.
Yeah.
I watch it myself, and I have to stop and just I can't.
Have you
powering through it.
To Gay Witch Hunt yet? The first episode of season 3.
Nope, not there yet. Nope.
Okay. Once you get there,
conflict resolution right now.
Oh, I love that one. The Mediator's Tool Chest.
I don't know if I've heard that yet. I'm barely into it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. So yeah, you'll see the Mediator's Tool Chest is. I love that. No, The Office would not be able to air today. What people would do? They would boycott it. It would not be a strike. It would be a boycott. What we're seeing now is striking.
Right.
Except not in the NHL.
Right. But going back to what I was saying before, if they had not played right now, because I know I saw Jaylen Brown, right? He tweeted that he wanted to go back out and protest again.
Yeah.
But the protesting had an impact. No matter how those guys feel right now, I think that it had an impact. And then for the Bucks to go and be on the phone as they're boycotting on a strike, whatever. To be on the phone with, I think it was the Attorney General for Wisconsin, and then
the governor, wasn't it?
Lieutenant Governor,
yeah.
Yes, for them to be on the phone with those two guys, and I think Woj tweeted out, or it was Ramona Shelburne, that they were just trying to figure out what it is that they could do, something tangible that they could actually do.
It's like, what do you want?
For that to have, that's been my problem with anything is like you protest to raise awareness, and then I was talking to somebody about it, and I told them what was going on. They're like, oh, I had no idea that was going to. They were protesting, but they said in that raised awareness for them. Sometimes it's hard because we're in it. We have to pay attention to every little thing that goes on, and I just wonder how much of an impact are they really making? Well, this is a clear impact for me right away, and it seems even more significant. Now they want something tangible. It's like these guys this is a big step, I think.
Yeah, well, I think it's enough is enough. Like, this has happened too many times that you have to do something big, and elements of this are they didn't want to entertain people at a time like this, but also to call attention to it by doing something so drastic. And this definitely calls attention to it because people like CNN is covering this. Like, people outside of the sports world obviously are paying attention to this, and you see tweets from people who are not in sports saying like, wow, I am shocked that this is now affecting Major League Baseball and the NBA and all this stuff, and that they are taking a stance on this. So then it makes people pay attention. It's not, if this goes on for a long time, not great for us. I mean, in the sense we just got sports back. Like, we just get sports back, and maybe then use the games that are being played to call attention to it. Because
I don't think, but like we said at the beginning, it's not going to happen. There's no. I think well, first of all, I don't think Major League Baseball is going to stop. And the NHL has obviously continued. It was only the Brewers that stopped, and that's great. It is a change because I never would have predicted a Major League Baseball team or a hockey team would go and protest. But I think their response to what the NBA did, I think it just shows that those will continue to go on. If the NBA stops, though,
They're not. They won't though,
I
because
don't think they will. It's
there
LeBron.
also there. Somebody tweeted out too that players are saying there are too many sacrifices that have been made to be in the bubble to then leave and then just like scatter from that. So I don't see. I mean, even if especially if LeBron said we're going to finish what we started, then yes, we're going to finish what we started because LeBron is also that tweet about the Bucks. Like all the reporters who were tweeting like the Bucks are on the phone with when they didn't know who they were on the phone with. The responses were all like, "Oh, twist, it's Kyrie." Like they called Kyrie.
Oh my God. Yeah, all the pro Kyrie guys are taking a victory lap today. I noticed that in the course of things, especially with all the Nets people that I follow. It's
but Kyrie is
a lot of that. Kyrie was right. I mean, Kyrie,
but
again,
he's still...
Kyrie, I don't think he had his I don't think his head or his heart was in the wrong place. But like I said, them playing and then stopping and doing something that we haven't seen.
Yeah,
I think that's different. And I think if they weren't playing right now, they would be back out and protesting. Sure, that makes a difference, but you bring something different, trying to get across the same message, but take it to a next step. To me, that's just more powerful.
Right. They're not doing it for the likes and clicks, as Kyrie has said. Just do it for the likes and clicks.
By the way, I wanted to go see, I don't follow him on Instagram because why would I? I don't even follow you on Instagram. Because I have a separate account besides the 5 out.
Yeah, I didn't even know you had an Instagram.
I do. I don't post anything on there. I like looking at art on there. That's it. What?
Wait, you're looking at art on Instagram?
Yes.
Really? That's the reason you have a separate Instagram?
It's comic book art. Yeah, it's not like.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, it's not like fancy hoity-toity art. I'm not like.
This Rubens portrait that I saw. Oh, Rubens was an artist. I took art history in college. So
did you? You
took the most
usually.
I loved it. That was my favorite. My two favorite classes in college: art history and sports medicine. My mom majored in art history at Wellesley, so la-di-da.
What is was it official transcript? Your transcript? I gotta get a look at that someday.
I could order that from the college. I could go to the college, take a little trip to the college, and my favorite painting is the Hieronymus Bosch triptych.
Oh, by the way, I never found the marriage course syllabus. I couldn't find it. I'll have to maybe it's online somewhere. Maybe I can look somewhere else. I was trying to find it on my own, but
I'll get my transcript and you get that. Yes, you'll see how low my GPA was. Which wasn't that low. It just wasn't that high.
Was it below a 3?
No.
Well, mine was.
Oh, really?
I was.
But you like
2. What? But I was.
You were a D1 athlete too, so.
It was a 2.997. I never even heard that. I think it was or 998, but I've never even heard of that where they rounded to a third decimal. Just
Wellesley doesn't give out A's. That's the whole thing. Wellesley, if a professor gives out too many A's, they have to write a letter to the academic dean about why they gave out too many A's. So there's grade deflation. It's known for grade deflation, and they have to send out a letter when you apply to grad school that there's grade deflation, which makes 0 sense to me. But that's why my GPA was 3.4, I think, something like that. But anyway,
so annoying though.
I
would round up. But it's just like it's not. I mean, I tell people that I would say I averaged a B in college but it's like
I probably did.
Huh?
I probably did. I was a B student.
A 3 is a B.
College. Yeah. A B plus is like a 3.3 or something.
Yeah, so there you go. So you're an A- student.
Yeah, sure.
3.4, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, that's
Look
true.
at you. Boom. Yeah. You're a genius.
Yeah.
Look at that. Impressive. But that's what happens when you take art history and what was it, gym? A phys ed course?
Sports medicine is like an athletic trainer type of
What was the ping pong thing?
We went to that was a sport athletic. That was a sports class. There were sports classes, and then there was this one where we went to the Harvard
Medical
Medical
impact
School
your GPA?
cadaver lab. The cadaver lab at Harvard Medical School was my favorite class. We cut up there were just dead people on the table, and we cut up their muscles. Like Harvard donated their not old, but like the ones that had been used, and we just looked at all the different muscle parts and stuff. That was my favorite class. Nice little.
Did you get a grade for that?
That considered a lab in the class. Okay. The other labs were in the training room. We had. Did
you get a grade for the ping pong class?
I think I passed. Well, I better have passed that.
Fail?
It must have been. It had to have been. Everyone would have failed. People wore like sandals to this class. Like, this is not one of those, like, other wall climbing. I think there was more of a closed-toed shoe policy, but the table tennis was a little more lax.
Okay, got it.
Yes. Nobody boycotted.
Not as laid back as the conference calls though. With was it Rick Renteria though? Apparently.
Oh my God! So people need to relax about this one. So when a fan hacks a was it Skype or Zoom or whatever call, it's funny. Like, it's funny. Just relax about it. Don't get all uptight and tweet out, "This is against journalistic standards. Save the questions for the real journalists." Stop. Relax. It's funny. Like,
yes.
This is a little bit of like levity to.
I need more clarity on this situation though.
This is not like you're not like all high and mighty because you're a journalist asking questions on a Zoom.
I hate it so much. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Yeah, somebody didn't do their job or whatever. Somebody snuck in, but it's like, come on, have a little fun. We're talking about sports. Nothing's. Right. Right. So a white.
Like my prose is going to be affected by this.
This is from the Chicago BBWAA.
Ooh,
a White Sox fan masquerading as a reporter asked Rick Renteria on Zoom if Dallas Keuchel would be on a, quote, hit count today. This is why MLB PR needs to ensure Zoom access is limited to actual reporters and not bloggers/fans, excuse me. Friendly reminder from the Chicago BBWAA. So let me ask you this though, because we got no clarity on this. It was, as a reporter, I want the facts. I need everything to be, laid out for me plainly, so I have an idea of what's going on. Or if I'm writing it, I need to know what's going on. I need the readers to know what's going on. Excuse me. And I'm confused because was it actually a fan that snuck on, or is this guy accusing whoever asked this question of being a fan blogger or something to that effect, and they don't deserve to be there? That's what's unclear to me.
It sounds like this is someone who. Ooh, that's a good question.
That's what I mean.
I think what happened was
because I know Carabas has been in the past, because he was one who I saw tweet this out, and I know Hubs was pissed too. He said, like, I think it was Pete Abraham said to him. Jared told me this story, so I'm hearing it secondhand. Do you want to be
the other night?
He brought this one up, the fan blogger thing? Okay, I only listen to half the shit he says because, I mean, one man can only take so much. But he said, what was it, fan blogger or what was the other thing?
Something like that. It was, it's now Jared's Twitter bio. Whatever, like some kind of journalist, like something.
He's most unbiased baseball writer in the country or journalist in the country, whatever.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah,
but I don't know what is the BBWAA? Too many freaking double letters in that thing.
Well, only those who are in the know can know all of them and say it correctly. That's how you know you are as distinguished as they are.
I am not in it, so there you go.
There you go. So you don't know the letters, then you are nobody. So excuse me.
That sounds about right.
How dare you enter this Zoom?
But you see the confusion though on my end with that?
Yes, because it could be someone who writes for like a fan-sided kind of thing, like like one of those websites, or it could just be a fan who was like, "Hey, I'm bored. I'm gonna hack into this and ask a funny question." It was funny. That's a great question. Funny things have to happen, or we will all go crazy. Like if everything is so serious all the time, we're gonna lose our minds. Yeah. Things like these are funny and they bring a smile to your face. Like, do you think anybody in there, how dare this can't happen ever again? We have to reset all our passwords, and this is crazy. No, let it happen. Just let it happen.
There's honestly probably a handful of people who don't find that funny, and one of them is probably Dallas Keuchel, and then Renteria. I bet you he found it funny because if he's
who doesn't is whoever runs the BWACWA account.
Yeah. Exactly.
Doesn't think it's funny.
Exactly.
This is not funny.
So here's my other question too. When the person said hit count, sorry, am I lagging right now?
Just for a second. I think you're okay now.
Okay, sorry about that. It's because I have
you're lagging a little now.
Baseball Reference is so annoying. Are we good now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Baseball Reference is so annoying. I wanted to see what Keuchel's numbers were. But was the writer actually? Did they ask that deliberately? Or did they mean to say pitch count? Because I'm like, or they were trying to be funny?
Yeah. What if they weren't even trying to be funny?
And that's why. Again, are they pissed that they're being funny, or are they pissed that they're inept?
Why don't you tweet back and ask?
I asked Jared if Renteria answered the question. I got no response. I guess now he's kind of done with us. But
Ooh,
yeah,
don't
I
feel
know.
yes.
Yes. Oh, excuse me. I think he got
Okay.
everything out he needed to say to me the other night. But that's what I'm saying. That was my other question too. What the hell did Renteria say? I need to know what he said. Did
Right.
he
Okay,
laugh?
we
Did he?
none of this story basically in this tweet. This tweet was more of a I am better than you. We are the journalists and we was separation between the journalists and the people is
Mm-hmm.
basically what this was. I think that there's nothing else to it. Like this could have just been somebody from one of those fan-sided blogs who I like them. I used to write for Bo Sox Injection, so I'm not
Right.
putting them down. But I think that's what this
For some
person.
people, that's how they get their start, right?
So I
That's
think
what you did in Hannibal,
right. If I got into a Zoom, that would be a huge deal. Like that's great.
right?
Yeah, Hannibal also wrote for them. So I think that what
So
this
annoying.
person, yeah, is trying to either. So it could be one of two things. It could be that they. It could be one of like 10 things because we don't know anything about this. But it could be someone who writes for one of those
Terrible
blogs who.
reporting. Honestly,
Right.
terrible reporting from the
Right.
actual journalist.
Exactly. A lot of the times, the journalists who are not as accredited or as distinguished are the ones who tell the best stories. But this one wasn't even told in any way. I have so many questions. You should not have so many questions after a report like this.
Three fairly big questions on my end coming out of this. That's bad.
Yeah, I have the same questions because
Very
it could be
disappointing.
somebody from one of these blogs who asked it wrong or misspoke, or it could be a fan who is like wearing a White Sox jersey, literally like just sitting on its couch, who somehow got in and asked this question to be funny, or it was a blogger who asked the. I mean, it could be anything. It could be anything, and that's why this reporting is not great. And that's a bad tweet. Put that in the bad tweet museum.
So
Not good.
annoying. It's just
Not good.
frustrating at the end of it all. You know what I mean? Like I hear this, it seems like kind of a big deal, and then basically it just turns out that you just found out that we wanted to complain. There's no like payoff in all this.
Yeah. Well, in the end, though,
White
Twitter
Sox
is just
Dave
a
needs to get on
complaint.
this shit. I know that he could figure it out fast. He's connected.
Who does?
White Sox Dave. They're I think he just does White Sox for them for Barstool.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay.
Yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't want to read White Sox content anywhere.
Yeah,
ever.
White Sox Dave is where I
I
go
hate
to
the White
for all
Sox.
my information.
White
White
Sox
Sox Dave.
suck. Well, they're good now, but I can't stand the White Sox.
Right. Well, people are mad too that the Bruins are playing tonight. Like the NHL is playing. I saw a lot of tweets being like Sarah Sivian tweeted, like, I'm sorry to hockey fans that the Bruins are playing tonight and the NBA isn't. Sorry to black hockey fans, she said. And I was like, well, the Bruins are supposed to be like, oh, like we're not playing tonight. Like this is the playoffs.
Well,
no. Like there are other ways to call attention to it. You can't just there's also a lot of things that go into a game. Like the people, if you strike or boycott a game, there are people who are not going to work that night too. So who? I mean,
well,
right?
I don't like. Yeah, I look. The NBA, I don't have a problem with what they did whatsoever. And I saw
No, of
somebody
course
in the
not.
chat mention how they should donate their what they're making in the postseason to the families affected. I mean, I'm not one to tell people how to spend their own money,
Yeah.
but that would be a nice gesture if they helped out all these people who've been impacted by these acts of violence. But I mean, I don't know if I want to like I don't know if I'm so quick to condemn the NHL for doing it.
No.
I mean, if they did it, sure, yeah. But the NBA got the message across.
Exactly. Like
If it keeps happening, I don't know. I mean, like that's why I see these tweets that sports. Somebody in the chat even said it. The sports are done for 2020. It's coming to an end. Whatever. I just don't know that. Like NBA, maybe, but even then, LeBron's not going to do it.
I don't think the NBA is going to even. But I don't think the Bruins should do it just to do it. Like the OMF was talking about this today. The teams that have a connection to Milwaukee, like sure, like any team out there, yes. The Brewers, yes. To call direct attention to it, yes. But the Bruins, like, no. I don't know. I would not say, hey, you should have canceled your game.
No, but I would have thought it was. I would have thought it would have been. I think it would have been good if the NHL across the board did it. I don't think it would have been bad, but I don't know. Like the thing is though, the thing is though, Lucy, that like I told you, the NBA does it. It's a strong message, but when we see the Brewers do it, And as much as it's Milwaukee, as much as that's their stake too, it's not the NBA. And the NBA is the league that does all this. The league is they're the most socially justice active league. When any baseball team does something like this, and the Reds are supporting and everything too, of course they're not gonna not support it. I thought the Magic weren't for a second because they were still trying to play and everything. I was
Yeah,
surprised by
exactly.
that. But
Yeah.
for a baseball team to do it, that is stunning to me. That
Mm.
one sent kind of I think stuck with me more than anything in all this.
Yeah, right. Because when was the last time we saw something like this? A
Right. So
long
if the
time ago.
NHL
But
across the board did it and MLB across the board did it, that would send some serious shockwaves. But that's not going to happen. I don't
right.
think.
Do you think that the Magic thought, okay, so they're going to forfeit the game and we'll win if they don't
I
boycott?
mean, they did forfeit. But the Magic didn't accept their forfeit. So it could have.
It was dumb.
I mean, they maybe.
The series,
Yeah,
what the series would have been like? What 3-2 or something?
it would have been 3-2. The Magic have no chance. You can't. They're
Do
not
it.
going to. Yeah.
Do it. They'll win on forfeiture.
I mean, you would think
Look
the
at that.
Bucks probably looked at it as, obviously it's the, in their mind it's the right thing to do, but at the same time, it's like, who gives a shit? We lose one more game to the Magic. It's not a big deal in the end of the day.
Plus, I
We're
think
gonna,
they're
we have,
thinking like this is bigger than basketball. This is bigger
well,
than
yeah,
like
in a
baseball.
series. I mean, obviously, I'm joking about that part, but
Yeah, no, I know, but yes, no, if we lose one
making me
game,
sound like an asshole over here.
no, but no, I think that there are people though that the social justice people come out and they try to attack anybody who's not going along with it. So the Bruins, like you say, like, oh, the Bruins should be, striking, boycotting, whatever. But they're just going to do it to do it. They're not doing it because of any, like, I think they can make
Well,
impact in
see,
other ways.
they could make it. I mean,
Like the NBA, you're right. The NBA got their point across. Like not every sport has to do this
right.
if they don't decide to do it.
Like I said, I do think it would send a crazy message if you're seeing two predominantly football is, I mean, I'm sorry, football. Hockey is predominantly white, and then you have baseball where it's primarily white, but there's obviously a much larger mix. It sends a different message than basketball, which is predominantly black, and obviously the issue is about black people getting killed when they're unarmed by a policeman. Um, I I lost my train of thought there. What the hell were we just talking about?
The impact it would make on
Oh, so yeah,
the
so I mean, I get I think the argument for some of those people is because it just seems it's not that you don't just do it for the sake of doing it. They think that athletes should have a desire to do it because people are being wrongfully harmed and everything. And
right.
yeah, I mean, I
But
agree. I can't say I disagree with that, but I'm not going to go and shame the people for not doing that
no,
either. That's my thing.
exactly. Because it's also you show up for work and you do your job. Like that's part of it too. Like that's literally what the Bruins are doing right now in a playoff hunt, so a playoff race, or they're in the playoffs. So that's part of it too. It's like, okay, so but we have to play our game. Like they definitely discussed it, I would assume. Or who knows? They're probably like, hey, I guess we're playing. So that's probably it. But I think the NBA
I really question if it crossed their mind.
That's true, maybe. I don't know. But they must have said something about it. Like,
They
hey,
probably saw it, but
did you see this? No,
yeah,
I
how
didn't
did you
see that
not?
at
It's
all.
one of the biggest stories in the country right now.
Exactly. I
Which
think
is
I would
which
say it is
again,
the biggest story right now.
look again to the people who are saying now that Kyrie was right or whatever. Again, I think we're now seeing his head may have been in the right place more than we were somewhere initially led to believe. But I don't think he was right to just shut down and not do anything. I don't think
Right.
that would have
That's
been the
the
right move.
thing. Is you can't just say this and then do nothing. Like the Bucks are trying to do something with this. Like they're trying to get legislation involved in this and trying to actually then
the
it's
Bucks
like
did some serious shit.
well, yes, so they are right now, but then it's like, okay, then what? Like if the Bruins boycotted tonight, it'd be like, okay, then what?
Right. That is yep.
Like that's if they went on strike tonight.
Thank
be like,
you.
okay, well then what?
But see, like the thing is, Lucy, to me, it's just with these things. I feel honestly like to me, these things are so huge that when I get annoyed when some people just want to talk about it, and then there's no action taken, and they say action needs to be taken. It's like, well, if you're saying action needs to be taken, why don't you take the action? Well, then we saw the players go out to the protest. That's taking action. Then on top of that, now you are sitting out of games, and then not only are you sitting, which is a pretty big message on its own, but not only are you doing that, you're making phone calls to people who need to be talked to get shit done. Because when you hear Stephen A. Smith went out on ESPN at one point during all the protests, he said it's not, you can't just, because I think he was criticizing Kyrie and Dwight Howard. You can't just sit there and talk and talk. You have to be about it and try and make differences and talk to the people that need to be talked to. Well, that's what the Bucks did. And
Right.
even if it's just this one conversation, that's still a step in the right direction. I can't go and expect them to turn into Gandhi or whatever, you know what I mean, or Martin
Right.
Luther King
Yeah.
Jr. So
Right.
it's to
Exactly.
me, it's a big. That's a. It's like you can say it's like it's a small thing, but it's a much bigger thing. And to me, as powerful as the protests were, what the Bucks did, making that phone call, is even more significant in my
Oh,
mind.
definitely. No, that's where it's like, okay, so things are happening out of this. It's not just we're going to sit in the locker room and then go back to our
Mm-hmm.
hotel. That's a good part of this. I think that they're actually doing something. And you start with this, and then you have people on the sets of like what and the TNT NBA TNT show, I think it was,
Yeah,
or which one?
Kenny Smith walked off the set, and I mean, I'm just gonna say it's a bad thing. I don't. That was that. I mean, like
I think he
he,
just felt either he wanted to be like part of this, or he just felt so strongly that he was like, I can't do this tonight because of what's happening. It's a distraction. But the argument could be made, stay there and say something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's his own prerogative, but
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't.
I mean, if the intent is just to further the conversation and the awareness in case somehow people didn't know what the heck was going on, okay, great. I mean, that's it. I don't think. I mean, it may be a little surprising, but what the Bucks
Yeah.
did is all that matters to me
Yeah.
at the
Oh,
end of
I
the night,
think
and then the
with
NBA
that, it's
canceling
like
the rest of it.
you get the headline that he walked off the set. So I mean that's I think what I don't know. That's kind of what it
Yeah,
seemed
sort of.
like.
I mean, like you could easily say, like, oh, he's just doing it for show to be part of it because what are Chuck and Shaq bad guys for not walking off? Obviously
No.
not. You need, you talk about. It's important to talk about this stuff too, but
Right.
it's just, I think he just further emphasized what's going on and what the Bucks did, and obviously everybody else joined in on it too. But what the Bucks did, well, and you can argue the Celtics and the Raptors are the ones that really started this because they had the rumors first of possibly not
Exactly.
playing
Right,
tomorrow.
because we were saying, should we do this tomorrow night or tonight, or take a chance on tomorrow if they're
Mm.
striking tomorrow, not boycotting, striking, or not? Which I mean, it looks like there's a what is the meeting tomorrow at 9
No, I thought.
a.m.
Oh, is that what it
8?
was?
Is it
I thought the
tomorrow or
meeting.
tonight?
I thought the meeting was going on tonight. I haven't seen
It is
anything come
tonight.
out yet, but yeah, I've been really worried that it was going to happen tonight, in the middle of us doing this.
Oh,
But
furloughed friends. You don't want that.
no, that would really stink. I don't.
Yeah,
Because I have fun.
we'd be striking friends.
Momentum. Okay, this is from the ESPN app. Momentum for NBA to not play Thursday.
Okay.
So it looks like they're already playing. I mean, they're already talking, but yeah. So I would think they're not going to do it tomorrow. And if they don't, we can do this again. I'd love to do it again. I mean,
Sure.
I don't like doing this only twice a week, but it's just
Right. Exactly. Because of
with
the
this.
schedule. This is affecting
Yeah.
my betting too. Like, do I bet on a game tomorrow? Do I not? Do I, who knows? That's
Uh,
really what matters here is
oh
the
my God.
sports books,
By the
people.
way, I just noticed this as I was kind of scrolling back through things on my tabs. The
Yeah.
IBWAA commented, and that is the Internet Baseball Writers Association of America. They
Mhm.
commented on the whole Chicago BBWA thing. The BBWA deserves tons of respect for all they've done to grow baseball coverage over the years. However, the IBWAA believes, quote,
Jesus.
bloggers can be pretty good reporters too. In fact, we know several who are. And that's with an exclamation point. Seemed like a fun question which might get an answer worth printing.
Look at
Oh.
that. Shots fired in your
Yep.
face, CWBACWA.
And then this partially
Preach.
answers. Oh, what?
They got faced.
Yes. Now I have. There was a follow-up tweet from the Chicago BBWAA, and it does partially answer my question. True, many good writers in the IBWAA, but also many fans who only want to promote their favorite teams and prove their fandom,
What's wrong
as
with
is
that?
the case with this fan.
What's wrong with that? Don't you want to cater to fans?
Yes, the thing is that so clearly it's a writer and not a fan who snuck in there. So we know that now. That was
Okay.
important.
Right.
Again, do we know if that was a joke or if it was unintentional? I
Mm,
don't know. It's pretty unclear to me. And then I want to know
yeah.
what Renteria said to the question about a hit count. That was
Right.
important.
Right.
But without again, I'm losing my train of thought with all these things. I'm so sorry.
But you
What
have
the
too
hell?
many tabs open in your head. Is
Yeah, I
what's
know.
happening right now.
It's my head. It's like well, so much shit's happened today. My head's
Well,
bouncing
like,
around like
how
freaking
many
ping pong
stories
ball.
have you written today? Like, is there just like one thing after another, or no?
No, not really. No, in that
Yeah.
stuff. I think I have one thing I'm going to do after this, but that's it. No, it's the only people talking about Kyrie are writers and like fans. That's really
Right.
it. But with this stuff,
Fans, but fans don't matter, so it's fine.
yeah, exactly. That's right. Right. That's what I was going to say. I don't get why writers will get annoyed with other writers who approach things differently than them. Like they'll say, "Oh,
Oh, like,
he's a fan," or he's a hardo, or he's just like. I get annoyed when there's too many stats people out there because I just don't think that's good. You don't want to have too many people who just rely on stats. But I learned that was when I was young in the business. Now I don't give a shit. You can all do stats all the time. I'm not going to lean on that
right.
solely. So I don't get that. Like when you've been in the business long enough, don't you want a bunch of different people covering the team that you're covering? Because then fans will look at you and then another person, because you're all different. Or should you all be
Yes.
the same?
Or are you threatened by someone encroaching on your territory?
That's clearly what it is.
If they're threatened,
you try to improve what you do. God forbid.
Right. People get threatened because they're like, oh, well, they only get threatened when they think that another writer is better than them. That's what happens. I thought you were going in the direction of an Andy Hart, Evan Lazar situation where writers get mad at other writers for opinions that they have that are different from their opinions. Because Andy Hart is the bad boy of Boston sports writing right now.
Is he the new Shaughnessy?
Yes, it's like a different level though. Like this is Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy gets a lot of shit on Twitter, but has it been to this level? Like
Shaughnessy was all sports, like what's going on the floor, the ice, whatever.
Right, but has it gotten to a level with Shaughnessy where other outlets are writing headlines about how much they dislike what? I mean, I'm sure at some point there has been, right? Like some others, like
no, because all that kind of stuff, like acknowledging other sites and things.
Oh, like the first one I saw was the big lead about the. I actually texted it to Shime that day because Shime was in for John, and Shime was like, "People need to relax. Like this is stupid." Like because that was the first headline I saw. That was like, "Hey, Boston sports writer writes this like horrible column about." It was the Brady fear thing. It was the coronavirus fear symptom thing. That's and then the Milbury one, which I thought Milbury tonight still would be something we were going to talk about, but no, this has eclipsed that completely.
No, yeah, we'll have to catch up with Andy maybe at some point next week. I'm sure he's busy with a bunch of shit.
What's his column going to be this time about all of this? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
striking, boycotting.
Oh,
striking is stupid.
I mean, he is at the point now where he has to be the one that writes about this kind of stuff.
He has to say,
especially because you don't have an NBA writer there either.
That's true, actually. So he has to. You know what? The other thing is we have to talk to him about his dueling columns with Scott McLaughlin, who then tweeted out his not he did tweet it out, but the headline was tweeted out that it wasn't the truth what Milbury was saying. It was like not the truth. It was a stupid thing to say. It's like, ooh, dueling columns.
We haven't had. I can't remember the last time. Like, I did a dueling column with Reamer when Reamer tried to justify Terry Rozier going through the Bristol car wash. That like, what was it? Going into the summer of 19. It was brutal, and Reamer tried to justify it, and then I responded to that. I don't remember seeing another one after that.
Ooh, so no rebuttal.
Oh no! I'm not calling out Reamer. I'm just saying in general, there was never.
He could have responded with another column.
Yeah, there was never. He could have. I wish he did. I would have kept going.
There should be more dueling columns. I like this because you get Andy's and then you get Scotty dueling columns.
Right.
Just wow. Okay, here we go, Scott. Good. I liked it. I thought it was good. And then there could have been a volley, but it was here's another column. It just never ends. It's like here's another one. Yeah. I think Andy should write this week that striking does nothing. Boycotts are stupid.
Oh my god.
That's the headline. Does nothing.
Oh my god.
Headline.
He's already gone. He's pretty much full heel at this point, but I think that would be.
Talking about. I think that would be, and then I'll quote you and be like, "Good job, Andy." Agree.
Exactly, Andy. Yeah, keep it up for 5 minutes and then delete it, won't you?
The Milbury thing drives me nuts because, just quickly, he said nothing. Yeah. He said nothing that I would take it to offense to.
I want to maybe if we do it tomorrow, if the game's canceled tomorrow, we can talk about it more. If not, we'll talk about if we get Andy on it like for Monday next week. Because I've seen some of it, but I haven't seen all of it. Right? He basically said that it's been good for the players.
Because there are no women around to. Andy has a different take on this, and he said women around to distract him. Andy's take is, did he say woman or women? That's where his the crux of his column. I don't think that's the point.
Women are around too. Well, then
like
I
no
think
woman around, like woman as a general or women as just. I can't remember what the. We can talk to Andy about it when we have.
Andy tried to break that down.
Yes, that's what a lot of his column. I think what it was is the women reporters thought that he was talking about them, and that's not what it was at all.
I think the thing that oh, that's what everybody's pissed about. They think it's about women reporters.
Yeah. They thought that like women don't belong in the
hockey.
He's
talking about, then he's an idiot. Even like,
no, he wasn't talking about it though. He was not talking about that. It's they say that like that what Milbury was saying is that women are not allowed in the hockey space, and it's that's not what he's saying. He is saying, as I tweeted, it got 1,000 likes and 100 retweets, and I was like, yes, not because of that, but I want the people. I was happy that the number of people that agreed with me were more that agreed, like that there's a sane group of people out there still. That's what I liked to see.
I am sure that every single person that agreed with you is a sane person.
Is sane. I saw a lot of them and they look like
because you are totally
really
sane.
Grounded people. I am, as Trump said, I am so sane you wouldn't believe it. He said something like that. You wouldn't believe it how not crazy I am. So my brain is definitely working in working order.
Person they've ever met, and you wouldn't believe how many people have told me that.
You would not believe how many people said, "Wow, you are the sanest person I've ever met." Finally, someone who's not crazy, doesn't spiral out of control, one panic attack at a time every day.
Oh my God! Someone said that to me. You are the sanest person I'd ever met. I'd ask a lot of fucking questions. Why the hell do you? What compels you to say that to me?
I don't think anyone would ever say that to me.
No one would ever say that to an actually sane person.
No, that's true. I don't think I've ever met someone who's.
I love those comments. So those get me every time. Every time. I'm the most whatever.
The healthiest person you'll ever meet in your life.
Oh my God, so healthy, unbelievable.
The superlatives are unmatched. He's the best. That's the other one. I have the best words. So I have the best words. That's what I mean. I love it. Yeah.
So maybe not tomorrow. If there's a Celtics game tomorrow, no. If there is,
then we will strike from this show.
Yes, that's exactly.
Which I might do anyway. I might just strike at the last minute and just be like, I'll type out a letter and be like, I'm so sorry. I'm just.
No, you'll blame it on me like you do every freaking time we don't do the show.
Yeah, I'm striking, unless we all go to dinner on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, Tyler
has to be there.
Yeah,
we know John is in. We might Periscope from that.
Oh, that'd be dangerous.
That's what I think. We may or may not see you all tomorrow, if not Monday.